Well, they got their hearing on the Hill this morning. Some would call it an important political process. To many others, though, a waste of time and taxpayers' money. Hockey Canada President Bob Nicholson appeared before a parliamentary committee today in Ottawa. He was there to answer for Shane Doan's appointment as captain of the World Championship team. 17 months ago, Doan was accused of uttering an anti-French slur during an NHL game, but it was never proven. As Michael Whalen reports, Nicholson passionately defended Doan's captaincy as some committee members defended their right to question it.
Bob Nicholson came a long way from Moscow, in fact, to justify the choice of Shane Doan as captain of this year's edition of Team Canada. He was grilled by some members of the committee, supported by others.
What Canadians in my riding are telling me is that at this point they'd like to put the politicians in the penalty box and let Team Canada put the puck in the net.
Let's just take a step back for a moment and not appoint him as a candidate, as captain. Not necessarily saying he did say it, but just say because of these allegations it might be best not to.
But whenever Nicholson had to address the issue of Doan being captain, he spoke emotionally and passionately.
You talk to every player that's ever put on a jersey with Shane Doan. Please do that. I ask you, when you start to criticize an individual who is a proud Canadian that goes over there, represents every youngster in this game of hockey in our country, and we put him through what we put him through just before the Olympics, and now I get very emotional because he is a person that we should not be talking about in this way. They're not supposed to play for the names on the back of their jerseys. They're supposed to play for the logo on the front of their jerseys. And through some of this, some of them are questioning why.
There's still a court case pending that will determine whether Doan actually made the alleged racial remarks. He was cleared by an NHL investigation, but Nicholson admitted that there might have been racial slurs made on the occasion in question, but not by Doan, perhaps by another player.
The information that we got very, very clearly, Shane Doan did not say this. The other thing that we should be clear on, there are people on the ice that may have said this that aren't Canadians. And we're criticizing a Canadian player and a Canadian team when all of this comes out later. It might not be a Canadian.
In the end, Nicholson did not feel that the whole process had been a waste of time, although others would argue that surely government have more important matters to take care of. The 1.5-hour meeting finished with a resolution endorsed by all four parties supporting Canada in its quest for gold at the World Championships in Moscow. Michael Whalen, TSN, in Ottawa.
Meanwhile, IIHF President René Fossel had this to say: "It is totally unacceptable that politicians should interfere with things like the selection of a national team's captain. As far as the IIHF is concerned, Doan will remain Team Canada's captain here in Moscow, no matter what the politicians say."